Hi guys, I wanted to start this channel because I see a lot of people have this kind of channel on here on YouTube, and it has helped me out a lot along the way, and I wanted to pretty much document my journey, which hasn't started yet, but it will start soon enough. Basically, back in November, earlier than November, actually let's go way back. Back last year, I started to have this weird aching sensation in my stomach area that kind of vibrated down my legs, into my back, into my stomach, and it kept me up at night, and it worried me, and it confused me, and it created me into an insomniac. There were nights where I woke up at 3 in the morning and I sat in my bed, or I sat on the couch and watched television so I didn't wake up my fiance at the time. And basically, it got to the point, because I didn't have health insurance, so it got to the point where my fiance, excuse me, went out with his family, and they decided that we should get married earlier than we were scheduled to be married. So we were supposed to be married in October and have like a real wedding, wedding dress, party, all of that stuff in October. But we ended up having our wedding in March. And we wound up getting married by Justice of the Peace, with just immediate family, so that I can get my insurance right away through his company, because my company that I worked for really wasn't offering it unless I was full-time, and I was not full-time. So we got married in March, and then we had our real wedding in October. So as soon as I got my insurance in March, I ended up going for my annual at the woman doctor, and everything was fine. I saw a midwife because I was kind of nervous and worried, so they referred me to a midwife to actually do my first annual. Oh, not first annual, but my annual for that year. And a few weeks later, I think it was a few weeks later, something like that. But a little while later, I hadn't heard from the doctor, so I had called them, and they told me that my usual pap smear came up abnormal, and that I had cells that were abnormal and whatnot. So I scheduled another appointment, and I had the I forgot what it's called, but when they take the cells from in there, and that came back okay. So everything continued on with my checkup with the womanly doctor, and I started to feel those things that I told you before, the waking up in the middle of the night, the achiness, all that. So I wound up telling her, and she wound up saying, whatever. And then I winded up in like a stat health, like a clinic that you walk into on the weekend if you're feeling sick and the doctor's not open. I started having these weird stomach pains, and I didn't feel very good. So I went to the clinic, and I had a man doctor, and he was kind of weird, and he didn't make me feel very comfortable, and he offered to give me a pap smear across the hall, and I said, no, that's okay, I'll just go to my regular doctor. And he said, it sounds to me like you have ovarian cysts. So the following week, I called my doctor, and I let them know what they said, and she felt around, and she didn't really feel that much, but she did schedule a sonogram. So that's my cat. She did schedule a sonogram, and so she scheduled a sonogram. I went for the sonogram, and they saw things right away. Then I went for a follow-up appointment to the sonogram, where they follow up on the report with you, and they go over what they found. And they had found a rather large cyst growing. I think they were like 6.4 centimeters on either side, so they were bilateral cysts. And then upon further review, they found out that these were cysts that would need surgery. So this was in time for my wedding and my honeymoon, so we held off. We scheduled the surgery, but the surgery was held off until after all of this celebration stuff. So I got a call, and my surgery was scheduled for November 19th. So I had surgery on November 19th. It was supposed to be a keyhole laparoscopic surgery where they go into your belly button and they do 2 other little holes, and they go in there, they look around to see what's going on, and then they take away what they can. They either burn or, deflate, or, they do all kinds of things. So I was told that if I needed something more than laparoscopy, it would be laparotomy, and laparotomy would be like a C-section where they cut you open and they remove whatever they have to remove. So I remember when I went in for my surgery, basically before surgery I went in for a pre-surgical exam. I had blood work taken. I was given a rundown of what would happen when I went to the hospital. I called the night before my surgery, and I found out I was scheduled to come in at like 6 in the morning. So the next morning, me and my husband went to the hospital for surgery. I was taken into a room, and I was given a gown. I was given, blood work. Blood work was taken from me. Questions were asked. A lot of questions were asked. A lot of things were gone over with me, and I was then, an anesthesiologist came in, and he did the anesthesiologist thing, and then I was wheeled into the operation room, and I remember looking at the clock. It was 9 a.m., and when I came out, it was probably like 12. So I knew right away that I had not had laparoscopy, that I had the laparotomy, because they told me laparoscopy is like an hour, and laparotomy is like 2 or 3 hours. So I knew at that point that something bigger had happened, and basically that my cyst was too large to remove laparoscopically. So they basically opened me up and they took out the cyst. So I had laparotomy. They also found that I had endometriosis, and I had probably stage 3 endometriosis. I had multiple cysts. The cyst that made them open me up was actually a very large cyst, and it was taking over my pelvic area. So that all went. I stayed in the hospital overnight because I had laparotomy, so it was much intensive surgery. I, had the whole morphine drip. I had the things around my legs to prevent clotting. I had all of that hospital stuff, people coming in every couple hours, checking my blood, all that stuff. So the next day, I got ready to go home. I was very sore. My stomach was very swollen. It was very uncomfortable, very, very bizarre. So I went home. I stayed a lot of time in bed, but I kind of pushed myself, and I went to my nephew's baptism, and I cleaned, and I did things I probably shouldn't have done. So by December, so I had the surgery November 19th, and by December 15th, before then, I started to feel really not myself, almost like flu-like symptoms, very achy, very not hungry at all, no appetite, very achy, very tender. My stomach got swollen again, very sore, couldn't really walk, and I just played it off as if I was doing too much and that it was not healing properly. And then by December 15th, I had gone downhill completely, and I wound up in the emergency room. We had called an ambulance because I had acquired a staph infection. Now, through culture tests and a few other things, it was not a hospital-acquired staph infection. It was just everybody carries a little bit of staph bacteria on their skin, and somehow I had gotten staph infection. So from December 15th until mid-February, I had a at-home nurse who came and changed my dressings because they had to open my incision and let it drain, TMI, and so she came every day and cleaned it, and by the end of January I started to get on the road to recovery, and it started to heal, and it wasn't as bad. So by February 22nd, I was pretty much taking care of it myself. So fast forward to now, which is April. I no longer have an open incision. It's closed, and everything is fine. At the end of January, beginning of February, sorry, I'm all over the place with this video. End of January, beginning of February, my nurse was noticing that it was still oozing and being gross. So she said that I should go to the emergency room, and I did. I went to the emergency room at a different hospital because I wanted a second opinion about what's going on. So I went to a different hospital that wasn't associated with the hospital that gave me the surgery, and they ran all kinds of tests, and they did a CAT scan, and everything was fine with the staph infection. It was gone, but the doctor did inform me that on my CAT scan I do have 2 rather large cysts on either side of my ovaries, and that I should get this checked out. So I told my woman doctor, my gynecologist, when I saw her again, and she was a bit taken back, but this is the kind of thing that happens when you have endometriosis. So she scheduled another sonogram, which I went for recently. And they happened to find 2 rather large cysts growing, multiple cysts, bilateral cysts. And the woman that actually did my sonogram is a doctor, and I requested her. Sorry, my phone is ringing. You don't know who it is. And I requested her, and I saw her yesterday. And so we are going to move ahead with surgery, another surgery to remove those cysts. But prior to going into surgery, she has recommended a reproductive endocrinologist who I will see and discuss a plan with, so that after I come out of surgery, I will have a plan for trying to conceive, because I at least want 1 child. So right now she has put me on, hold on. So right now my doctor has put me on Ministrin, and that is to just keep my period at bay and control my endometriosis at this point so that it doesn't grow further or grow more. And I will be on this until I go into surgery. And I'm seeing this reproductive endocrinologist on Tuesday, so I will see them on Tuesday and we'll discuss a plan so that I can schedule my surgery and I will know what's going to happen thereafter, because my first surgery we didn't talk about this stuff. We did let the doctor know that we are interested in having a child, but nothing was discussed further, and we didn't make plans, and we weren't put on medicine. So this time we have discussed what we want to do, and I am put on this medication to prohibit having a period and allowing my endometriosis to grow. And so we're going into the surgery hoping to clear out and clean out, and then starting after I heal up, and cross my fingers, no staph infection this time, that we can move forward and we can try to become pregnant. So this is where we're at. This is my introductory page. This is what I want to share with you all. And this is pretty much the beginning. So I guess my next update will be when I see my an EP on Tuesday. And see what happens from there. If you have had multiple surgeries, if you've seen an endocrinologist, a reproductive endocrinologist, or an RE, sorry, I think I said something else before. If you've seen one, if you know how it goes, if you have experience, please comment down below. Any advice, any help, any support is great at this point, because as I was saying to my husband before, this is all so weird to me. Because I never thought I'd be in this place. I never thought that this would be something that I'd be going through. I just wasn't prepared, but at the same time, it is what it is, and we're just going to keep moving forward. So that's pretty much it, and I guess I'll be back next Tuesday with an update of what has gone on and what our RE has talked about. So thank you for watching. I hope you continue to watch, and I look forward to connecting with a lot of you on here that are going through the same thing. So thank you so much. Bye.